I'll draw the girl on the pool in here, right here. Let's see. I want to use this one for color reference, or this one. This one. Start with the silhouette. Wait, better. Let me solve the silhouette first, then I come with the coloring. I want to put her more off screen, like that. The framing would be good. Her head and arms more in here like that. Maybe, yeah, I think her head will be good to be right there. I don't want to occlude too much the girl behind it, so maybe her head will be right in here. The hardest part is the framing, because it needs to make the composition, I don't want to hide most of my work on the composition back then. So yeah, that's pretty good. Let's pick a color. I'm going to put a blue bikini on her, just because I want to. All right, let's keep going. Maybe maybe I should put a bikini that doesn't have a, like one of those ones, right? That doesn't have a support in here. I don't know, man. Oh, I have an idea. What if she's not wearing a bikini? What if she's wearing like one of those bodysuits, right? That's better. Yep, pretty much. Yep, that's good. pick the color. Alright. Let's keep drawing. I hope it's filming, by the way. It'll be very sad if I'm doing all of this and it's not filming. Very abstract. Abstraction is very important. How should her hair be like? This is already looking so fucking good. Super cool. Oh, by the way, this guy? Yeah. That's a manga about the Powerpuff Girls, mind you. But it's realistic. And there's a lore. Oh, there's a lore, believe me. I mean, a huge lore. You gotta read it. No, you don't need to read it. I need to tell the story through the manga. It'll be hard. Well, there's pizza. Anyway, let's go back. I'll pick a gray to make the eyes. It's about shape design.
Você tá vendo um vídeo de uma escova de dente tocando Billie Eilish. Mas sabia que no app do YouTube Music também...
Eu sou brasileiro, aliás. Eu falo português, então eu entendo o que essa música tá falando, o que é legal. Se você é brasileiro, dá um salve aí. Grave no chão quando quer. O que é? Maybe blue is not the right color for her. Because, you know, the pool's already blue. I should desaturate this blue. The problem is not the blue itself, it's the saturation. I think. Let me see. Where's the layer? Oh my god. Oh. Let's desaturate that. Put on color. It's already gray. Not that much, just a little bit. Less. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright. Please, 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 please. Keep up. My computer's having a hard time. Let's reduce the. Let's apply a soft edge to that ambient occlusion shadow. It's a type of shadow, by the way. It's ambient occlusion. It happens when light gets trapped in a hole. This is a hole. It's like a cave, you know. It helps give this global illumination and illusion. It's so cool. I don't know. I'm finding her expression a little bit weird, a little bit dull. Maybe it's the eye. It's always the eye. The eye needs more personality. Yeah, that's better. Nope. Just an indication, very soft. think that's better. Hmm. Oh, I have an idea. And then I hide that. Yeah, that's better. What if her hand is in the face like that? Like she's pushing her face and that's why the mouth is like that. That's better. Like that. That would require a little bit more support for her arm. She cannot do that in this pose, I guess. Her arm will need to be a little bit more like that. Yeah. That's a mess, right? It's about finding patterns in the clouds. You know, when you look at the clouds and you find those little patterns, that's called pareidolia. It's what artists use in these situations where they need to find order in chaos. I think that's the thing. It's all about finding order in chaos, entropy. That's philosophical. Type of bullshit that Ian Malcolm would say. Yeah, that's looking so good. All right, that's good. Hell yeah. Oh, what is this? This should not be here. Better. I feel like is she in front of? Is he in front? Yeah, he's in front. All right. I'll just hide him just for now, so I can better solve the shadows on her, especially in the arm stuff. It's so good because I was doing this painting and my new microphone just arrived today. Whoa, delivery on Amazon is very fast. I don't want to do free advertisement, but I'm impressed. Anyway, it was scheduled to arrive on 19, but it arrived today. It was great. I'm very happy. So I decided to start streaming. And you know, I have a huge fear because I draw pretty well, as you can see. And one of my biggest fears is being accused of using AI. I hate when people say, and I was accused of using AI a bunch of times. Like, I actually lost actual job opportunities because people thought that my work was AI. Just because I like pretty well rendered stuff and I spend a. I'm experienced. I'm an experienced artist, but I'm not very famous, right? Not very famous, so yeah. Anyway, it's kind of hard for new artists, especially nowadays with AI. Things will get pretty dark, I guess. But yeah, we can do it. We'll survive that. I think in the future, AI will be able to be used as a tool. For now, I tried, but it sucks. Believe me, it sucks hard. But who knows? In the future, it might be so good that, well, I don't know what the future holds. For artists like me, we might be doomed. Or maybe not. Maybe we just need to find other niche. The fuck I'm talking alone. At least I have an excuse that I'm talking with a microphone. That's so weird. Let's work on shape design here. That'll be complicated. I think I need to stretch a little bit more because her shoulder is in here, right? Her shoulder is in here, and this is her forearm. I need a little bit more space between them to fit the upper arm. Because in that perspective, the upper arm will not be that foreshortened. Right, that's way better. In here, the occlusion will go to the other side. Alright. See how occlusion works? It kind of follows the form of whatever it's being occluded. It's like a projection, you know? You can think as a projection of the object. But it needs to be relative to the camera. That's why I shift sides, you know? I couldn't do the occlusion in here on this side. That would be wrong. It would mean that the camera would be looking at the scene from the other side, you know? You need to take into account where the camera is when you're doing ambient occlusion. Of course, you can kind of break this rule sometimes, but you need to be very careful. Something I could do is, for example, this will help convey the form even more. See this? I could remove the ambient occlusion a little bit in here, like that. See? You could argue that this is a projection, is a projected shadow, right? A form shadow. That's what it's called. But the thing is that they are not that different. Actually, they're not that different. The only difference between ambient occlusion and core shadows is that core shadow is hard to define when you're dealing with gaps like this, like caves, right? So the difference is more in the terminology than in the logic of light, of how light works. It's just that humans have this bad habit of giving name to things. But we must think visually, not logically. I mean, visual logic. I don't know. I'm just rambling around. You must ignore like 30% of everything I say, okay? I talk too much. That's good. Let's keep working this hand. Dude, I suck drawing hands. Not because I don't know how hands work, it's because I'm lazy. It looks more like a feet, I guess. Hands are just not that important for me, I guess. But I must draw hands more with more motivation because Kim Jong-gi once said that hands are second only to facial expressions. And to this day, I don't know what it means, but he must be right. He's Kim Jong-gi, right? I think that's good enough. I'm feeling a lack of freedom. Let me work on this articulation, but don't forget the rhythm between the hand and the arm. Be careful when you're doing connections, because it's very easy to forget about the rhythm between the objects when you just focused on relationship of the articulations. That's why most artists end up making stiff drawings. It's because they forget to, take into account the rhythm that things form. Like for example, this flow. You really gotta do like that. Let me take another color just to exemplify how it works. Just like that, you know. And you can like continue forever this thing. The articulation is like in here, right? Is this relationship in here? But the rhythm is more important. Oh wow, this arm needs shadows right now. Just opacity. More. Hmm. I don't know what to do with the hand. Maybe in the middle? Shit, I hate cell shading. By the way, when you're doing shadows in a human form and anatomical stuff, make sure to variate the thickness, especially in areas where you have this balance between bones and muscle or between shift of rhythms. For example, you see like in the shoulder, you have a shift in rhythm to the biceps, and then you have a shift in rhythm to the forearm and so forth. You see that the shadow kind of changes its thickness. You know, I hope this makes sense. Mm. That's good enough. I'm thinking about the clavicle right now. There's a relationship between shoulder, clavicles, bone, and muscle. You know, and try to get this right. For example, the deltoid cannot surpass the clavicle on that point right now. It needs to keep attached. Sometimes I like to break the cell shading. For example, in the arm, I made cell shading, but when I have a more complex thought, I have to break the cell shading to something more rendered. You see this many times in the process, like in the hair, I'm constantly breaking the cell shading. I use the cell shading more like a way to quickly block out everything. And when I get lazy, I don't elaborate on anything and just keep cell shading as default. It helps gives this cool cartoonish look. That's what I think. I hope the music's not like uh, giving you problems to understand what I'm saying. I hope the audio quality is good. Maybe I should verify if everything's fine with this streaming. Just a second. Alright, I'm still streaming. That's great. Alright. Should I? I was going to do another guy in here, but you know what? Making her hand in here, maybe that's not necessary. I think that part is already filled.
Você tá vendo o vídeo
Yeah, it's good.